Hey everyone, so tonight we're going to make raspberry cheesecake brownies, and I'm going to talk about the new spring bakeware. So first off, I'm going to take my classic batter bowl. This is the one that measures 8 cups. I love my batter bowls. I use them as mixing bowls. I use them to chop chicken in, just whatever. So it comes with this nice little lid. We're going to take that off. We're going to put a stick of butter. You know, all good baking stuff starts with a stick of butter, right? There we go. Let's see, we are going to melt the butter. Are we melting the butter and the chocolate? This is a dark chocolate bar that I bought. You need 4 ounces of it. And you just coarsely chop it. I've already done that with our chef's knife here. So we put this in the microwave. And let's try, I know a minute will do the butter. I'm not sure about the chocolate. And so we will probably end up using our mix and scrape and our mini mix and scrape. So I've already preheated my oven to 350. This is our brownie pan. So I love this pan. I do brownies, I do blondies, I do cornbread muffins, I do little miniature meatloaves, all kinds of things in it. Now, I'm still using the old one. I haven't got the new one yet, but I did want to show you. I have a picture here. Try to get it up close. So all of our brownie pan, our brownie bite pan, and the muffin pan have been restyled to this nice pretty blue carbonate steel pan with the non-stick in the insides, and our newest one is the tube pan for making angel food cake. We also have a cake stand you can get and a whipped cream maker, and I'll talk about the whipped cream maker in just a little bit. So all these are on my wish list to get. I just haven't done it yet. And this is most of the way melted. You'll see I have 3 eggs sitting out here. I read somewhere a long time ago that when you're baking, you should always set your eggs out and let them come to room temperature. So that's why I've done that. I think there are just a couple of little pieces in here that are still kind of solid. I'll put it on for maybe 20 seconds. See if that'll get them. Don't want it completely liquid. But I mean, I do want it completely liquid. I just don't want it so hot that when I add the egg in, it's going to scramble the egg. Okay. This actually says to whisk. So here I have 2/3 a cup of sugar, because again I use dark chocolate, so that's not going to be extremely sweet. I'm just going to mix that up. And was this the part that had 1 egg or 2 eggs? 2 eggs. I always like to sort of, if you're not using a whisk, like I'm using the mix and scrape, Just sort of poke the egg yolk and then start stirring around, and that breaks it up really good. I'm just going to incorporate this in so it doesn't look like yellow sitting on chocolate like it does now. Alrighty. And here I have a 1/2 cup of flour and a 1/4 cup of cocoa. Alright, I think I've got that mixed pretty well. Let me make sure there wasn't anything else to go in that. And we're going to divide this evenly in here. So I'm just going to use the little pour spout there, and I'm going to pour some in. Not really sure if you knew exactly, if it said exactly how much went in, I could maybe use some other kind of scoop. I don't know if I've got this. All right. A little out of this one, a little out of this one. I'm just going to sort of spread these flat. This is going to be like the bottom layer of your cheesecake. We just want to cover the whole bottom of the little squares there. I took too much out of that one. All right, so at this point we're going to come over this way to our deluxe stand mixer. So I've already plugged it in. It has an on and off switch right here on the back side of it. What we're going to do is lift this up. And we're going to take, this is a splash guard. You buy this separately. It doesn't come with it. And I did not lay out my, I think we're going to use our scraping beater. So it comes with 3 beaters or 3 things. It comes with a dough hook. Comes with a scraping beater, and then it comes with a whisk attachment. So we're not making dough, we don't need that. And we're not whipping right now, so we don't need that. We're gonna use the scraping beater. And I like this because it scrapes the edges as it goes. So right here where this little nail is, it has a keyhole opening. We're gonna make sure that goes there and turn it to put it on. We are going to put an 8-ounce cream cheese in here. I've had this sitting and softening for a little bit. I'm just going to throw that in. Set that off to the side. We are going to use a tablespoon of sugar. So I'm going to get my sugar back out. And I did not lay out my tablespoon. So here's my tablespoon measure. I'm just going to get a tablespoon of sugar here. Put that in. Actually, I just messed up. I should have used the tablespoon with raspberries, but I'm going to do something different for that. It was the 1/4 cup of sugar I needed. I knew that sounded wrong. So I'm just going to use a little less than 1/4 cup. Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I have our double strength Madagascar bourbon vanilla. When it says double strength, what that means, during COVID, I did some reading up on this. I actually bought some vanilla beans and made my own vanilla. So you use so many of the bean pods per, I guess, 8 ounces or however much of the liquid you're putting in. And when it says double strength, you've just doubled the amount of the vanilla pods you've put in it. So it ends up being that much stronger. And a lot of times when it's double strength like that, recipes you can use half of what it says. Now I'm assuming they've already made the measurement down half. It was probably a teaspoon originally and they've downed it to a half. But other recipes that you use, if it calls for a teaspoon, you could probably get away with half a teaspoon. You just have to sort of play with that and see. And we need 1 egg over here. So I am going to put this down here, and after you turn it on and after you put your attachment on, you're going to just turn this. I think it said we were going to cream it. Is that right? Set to cream for 2 minutes. So we're going to push the button, and you'll see it has the attachment right here that you need, and it has the scraping beater attachment, which is what we used. And our time has come up 2 minutes and 50 seconds. We don't want the 50 seconds. So we're just going to dial this back, and it dials back in 5-second increments to 2 minutes. And we're going to hit start. Now this thing starts out kind of slower and increases faster on its own. If you have the regular KitchenAid mixer, you know that you have to start it low and ease it up gradually yourself as it goes along. You don't have to do this with this one. It will automatically do that. So if it's the holidays or any time like that and you're wanting to do several things at one time, you can walk away from it and leave it. It'll be just fine. I didn't add the splash guard on this time. You'll see me get louder as it gets louder. Because I don't think I have to worry about it being anything that's going to splash out. Although a lot of times if I have a lot of flour in there, it most definitely will come up. So the other thing I was going to tell you about, after this is done, it calls for a whipped topping, a whipped cream topping, where you're going to add heavy whipping cream with some powdered sugar and some vanilla and make that. And that is with the new whipped cream maker. So this is what it looks like. And the first whipped cream maker, I didn't have it, and I didn't worry about it when it was being discontinued last month because I thought, I think I'm just as well just to make my whipped cream in the mixer. I'm going to have to put a separate container for it to store anyway. They've restyled it, brought it into the new catalog, and I really do like this one. So you see the plunger here. You're going to plunge up and down until you can feel that that heavy cream is getting thicker and giving you resistance. Then you know it's whipped. Okay, so that's the way the old one was too, right? This one, we also have an attachment that fits on top, and you can make nice pretty rosettes with it and decorate. Or it has an extra lid, the same lid that's on the bottom can go on the top so you can store it in this container. So now I've added this to my wish list. I do think I want one of these, although I wasn't too worried about it before. Okay, so let's check our cheesecake batter. It's looking good. Set that right there. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to, yeah, I better leave that. I'm going to bring it over here. We're just going to evenly put this mixture on top of the, okay, I'm going to see if I can divide that in half, and then I know I need to get 6 out of each half here. And the reason I messed up earlier with the sugar, this originally calls for taking a cup of raspberries and a teaspoon of sugar, or a tablespoon of sugar, and mashing them up, and you're going to put that on top. But if you ever get our Season's Best cookbooks, which is what this recipe is from, they have little cook's tips in the bottom for substitutions. And this one said if you didn't want the seeds of the raspberries, you could use red seedless raspberry jam. And I thought, oh, that would be so much better. I don't think I want the seeds. So I didn't worry about buying the raspberries. But that's okay. Our cheesecake filling will just be slightly sweeter. And I guess if you're not a fan of raspberries, you could always substitute in some strawberry jam, or you could just leave it out completely. I mean, I have seen, like in the mall, the different cookie stores and things, you can buy brownies. They're cheesecake brownies, so why not? I can use that to spread that out. Okay. This calls for a cup of the raspberry jam, and what we're going to do is dollop this on here. and then just swirl it. I have already opened this raspberry jam and used part of it, so rather than measure out a cup, I'm just going to dollop some on here, and we're going to go with it. So this hasn't exactly finished that off, but that's okay. I'll use it for something else. I'm going to use I'm going to use our cake texture releaser. This end you would poke in a cake to see if it's done. I'm just going to kind of use it instead of a toothpick to drizzle that raspberry through. And I can always clean it before these come out. And you don't want to drag that through so far as to drag it through the chocolate, just through the top. Okay, so while I'm finishing this up, my oven's already come to temp. So once I kind of get this swirled through, I'm going to put this in. This is going to bake for 20 to 25 minutes. And then we're going to take this out. And that would be the part where you would make the whipping cream to go on top. I may or may not do that. But I am definitely excited to see these come out of the oven, guys. So this is a little bit about our bakeware. I will see you again later. Bye-bye.